Okay, well, good morning and welcome to the July Mayor and City Managers Press Conference. We have a number of things we'd like to share with the community today. A lot of them are updates, but also to give you a little bit of an idea of what we've been doing in between the last time we visited in this venue. The city manager was able to coordinate and invite, and the city hosted a delegation of servicemen and women who are transitioning out of the military service, primarily from Fort Riley, I believe. We see the value in those skilled and trained men and women, and there is a movement called the Keeps Tour, and that is intended to try and keep as many of those trained people in the state of Kansas, because it's important for us to try and recruit new talent in a variety of different fields. And when you go look at the military service, they get trained in so many different ways that those can really translate into civil service jobs or jobs in the private community. So it's important for us to highlight and show who we are to that group of people, so that when they're deciding whether they're going to stay where they're last stationed or make plans to move to another community, that they give Topeka and Kansas a real close look. And so, City Manager, you might want to talk a little bit about some of the things that we highlighted for them while they were here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor. So I do first have to also acknowledge our partnership with Washburn University and the Greater Topeka Partnership that definitely helped on the collaboration of hosting these soldiers. What I really appreciated about this when Fort Riley reached out was that, again, it gives us as Topekans an opportunity to really showcase and highlight all of the educational, housing, and career opportunities that we have here, in an effort to, again, try to attract and bring in new residents and new talent to the community. I think that's really important. The group was probably about 30 soldiers. It was a pretty big group. I understand this was probably one of the larger keep tours, as Fort Riley actually takes the soldiers across the state. But from what I understand, this was probably one of the larger groups of attendance. But they got to tour Washburn University, Washburn Tech. They got out to the KBI building there at Washburn University. We had folks from our police and fire department out to talk to them about the career opportunities with the two organizations. And then they got to, as part of their bus tour, see where the VA hospital was at, and then some of the commercial partners that we have in southern Topeka. So all in all, I think it was a good event. Got a lot of good feedback. Got to watch some of the soldiers interview, and the opportunities for them to actually come out and actually see something in person, I think was very impactful versus video calling or conference calling somebody. So I thought it was a really good turnout, really good results. And we intend to continue working with Fort Riley to make these regular visits, because, again, I think we have a lot of opportunities, not just for soldiers, airmen, sailors transitioning out of the military, but for anybody who wants to come and live here with us.
Yeah, it was a good group, and I think it's important for us to understand that this isn't a one-time effort. Their visit here was appreciated, but everybody who was on that list there, we will do some follow-up. Are there additional information that we can provide for you, that something that you didn't get to see during the tour, or something that you would like more information on? Because I think it's important for us to really recruit, not just say we're here and hope you come. We have to highlight what we have. The city manager mentioned the VA hospital. That's a huge asset for the city. There are a lot of veterans who, once they need that kind of medical care, they may have to travel a lot of miles just to get to a VA hospital. But to have one of this significance here in Topeka and have the support that we have at the federal level it is really an asset that we need to show the servicemen, as well as the 190th that we have out here at MTAA. That's another military presence that Topeka has had for decades. And when a serviceman is getting out of their tour, they'd like to see that a community is welcoming to that kind of experience. And so it's important for us to follow up, not just show who we are, but keep following up and say, okay, you visited last month, have more questions, would you like to come back again? Be more specific. So I think that's an important thing for us to do. So and I appreciate the collaboration between GTP and Washburn, as the city manager mentioned. Another thing I want to talk about, it kind of dovetailed into that, while they were here, those
They didn't make it.
soldiers
They didn't make it.
didn't make it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Their buses, their vans broke down or something.
Well, we had planned to have them go to the Fiesta Topeka, because, you know, that's such a community-wide, diverse celebration for our community that we wanted them to see how City of Topeka invites everybody to enjoy the good things here in Topeka. So it's unfortunate they couldn't make it, but definitely it's something that we would have liked to highlight. This year we had great attendance. As usual, we had almost record high temperatures, but that's always the case for the Fiesta Topeka. And even though that there was some construction going on the Branna Street Bridge and around the city, the crowds found their way there, and a lot of them used the shuttle service that was provided, and that was really important because I saw a lot of people taking advantage of that. So I thank the community for supporting that event, just like they do many of the other events that we have coming up. In fact, we have one coming up pretty soon, and that is the National Night Out. That'll be August 9th here in Topeka at the Expo Center, is the main one that the city is going to host, but we are encouraging and doing whatever we can to help the neighborhoods who still like to have their own National Night Out event, make that happen for them as well. I don't know if any other additional plans that you might have with the city manager for those other neighborhoods, but if anybody needs to contact our office, just give us a call, and I think Monique Glade is the one is the contact, and she will help you with where she can with all the needs you might have. But I encourage you to come out to the National Night Out. Reminding people the idea behind that to begin with decades ago was that we show the community that we're all in solidarity and trying to keep an eye on each other and make sure that we keep the city safe. And so there's going to be a lot of events, food trucks, giveaways, all that there at the Expo Center. So mark that on your calendar. It's from 12 to 5 o'clock at the Expo Center Drive or the Starmount Vale Event Center. That's coming up very, very, very soon. There'll also be a talent show there. I won't be included, I'm not surprised, in that talent show. But I was able to talk to a few people who are going to be performing there, and they're looking forward to a good attendance. So I just wanted to bring that up as well. And one of the important things that has happened recently is our fire department having some personnel changes. And to that, I'll ask the city manager to speak to those changes for the department.
Thank you, Mayor. As we've mentioned, our current chief, Randy Phillips, has announced his retirement at the end of the year. His actual last day as fire chief, acting fire chief, will be August 4th. And to that end, we've appointed former shift commander Chad Longstaff with Topeka Fire as our interim chief. He will actually be transitioning in on August 4th. Chad has over 30 years of experience with Topeka Fire and just numerous certifications and extensive training background. So I've heard nothing but support as far as the appointment, and just want to let Chad know that we're behind him, and and intend to make this transition successful, not just for him, but and basically for the fire department as well, ensuring our continuity of operations and ensuring the continued excellence within the fire department.
And along those lines, I know that the fire department has been looking at some new equipment and have gone to on-site inspection of some of that equipment. So we're trying to continue to keep our department equipped with all those new techniques in suppressing fire and keeping our firefighters safe. And along those lines, in public service, the police department recently had 23 new police recruits sign up. And I think that's important to note because oftentimes people say, well, you need to get out there and recruit. Well, we do that on a pretty regular basis. And we put together those academies based on the numbers that we're able to attract to the position. So I think 23 is a good start. And I'm encouraged to see that many people step forward and want to try and serve their community in that capacity. So that's important for us to continue to do. The one other thing that I would like to mention today is that earlier today, myself and city manager had a very nice visit with Congressman Derek Schmidt. He came to our office, and it was we've known the congressman for a number of years, obviously, here in Topeka as the Attorney General and his service at the State House. So it was a friendly visit. It was a visit to try and get us to set up a regular kind of communication between the city and his office to show him the vision that myself, the city manager, and others on the council share for Topeka, to give him an idea of where he can see an opportunity to provide resources and support for our efforts for the Topeka and Shawnee County community. So I'm pleased that he came to the office and visited, and he maintains an office here in Topeka, and we got to talk to his chief of staff there. So it's important for us to keep that in mind, that the city of Topeka relies on coalitions and partners, the county, the state, and at the federal level. And to have a familiar face to be able to call upon when they can offer assistance to Topeka is extremely important. So I want to publicly thank the congressman for showing up and visiting with us today, and look forward to future contacts and communication with him. So I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that because I know he keeps a busy schedule as well. City manager too, I think as the weather is getting hotter and we're getting shorter on those days for school to start again, I know there's an activity and event that you've been involved with that you would like to speak to.
Yes, sir. And going off of the mayor's points about collaboration and partnerships, speaking of school coming up, we've actually partnered with Walmart, Grace Med, and others to actually host a school supply drive. This coming Saturday, we're giving out backpacks to income qualified families for students who are heading back to school. And we announced this initiative a couple weeks ago. And for any of the families who are interested in qualifying for this backpack giveaway, the deadline to reach out or to apply is tomorrow. Any questions, whether just regarding the requirements, date, time, et cetera, can be directed to our Office of Inclusive Communities, who can be reached at oic@topeka.org. Again, I have to give credit to Jane, your officer, to helping us with the lead on the Walmart contact. And so very graciously, these partners have stepped up to help us with this initiative. And so yeah, we'll be out there Saturday, I believe, right outside of here, handing out the backpacks. So again, any interest can be directed via email to oic@topeka.org.
That's always a fun event, and it's timely and necessary because there are a lot of people struggling with trying to provide just the basics to get kids back into school. And so that generosity goes to show again that we have very good corporate citizens here in Shawnee County and Topeka, and they help wherever they can, and that's a true basic need that is extremely appreciated. So I appreciate putting that together.
Absolutely, sir.
We also wanted to talk a little bit about some housing projects that we might have. Not far from here, we can see one really outside the windows here, that the downtown project that is already really aggressively broken ground. So if you can speak to that, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. As the mayor mentioned, the tower apartments, they're underway. Our city council had, it wasn't just our city council. I have to give kudos to Shawnee County as well as to the state on development incentives that were provided for that development. It's, I believe, about a 250-unit mixed income housing or affordable housing complex. Again, it broke ground probably within the last couple of months, and that is ongoing, scheduled for completion, estimated completion in January 2027. And then also, too, City Council recently approved, and we received an approval for RHID from the Kansas Department of Commerce for another approximately 200-unit apartment complex in downtown. Very excited about that. I mean, again, continuing to add to the vibrancy of our downtown. But that's not the only area of the city that we're focused on housing and supporting housing. In the Fremont Hill area, Johnson Betts Meadows has a $46 million investment in multifamily housing that's in Southeast Topeka. It's going to bring another 176 units of affordable housing to the community, again, through the low-income housing tax credits and other incentives. And so very excited, Mayor, about all the housing that is ongoing and being projected to come to Topeka. It's definitely one of those needs that we need in order to continue to grow as a city and continue to add to the vibrancy of our community.
Yeah, and if you drive around town, you can see different parts of the city that are experiencing some improvements. And if you certainly take a drive down South Topeka Boulevard, you can see all the building and construction that's going on there with the new retail that we have there with the new Chick-fil-A and the Whataburger. I drive by there, and there are lines there all the time. So it's been a welcome addition to our choices here in the city of Topeka. And I continue to ask citizens to be patient with us as we work through all those construction pieces that have to come along with that new development. So it's important to recognize that we are not just standing still. We're moving forward in many different areas. So when you consider that Topeka has always been what it is, but it seeks to be even more. And we've been working that very hard at that for the last few years. So I appreciate that. There's the last thing that I wanted to mention was, for me anyway, was my appreciation for Pastor Sublette and his contribution to the community that he serves out there in Highcrest. I mean, he has been a force to be reckoned with, and he is a force that's complementary to what we are here in Topeka. He works with the community, he works with the population, he listens very carefully. He tries to be as inclusive as he can in those things that he's bringing to a community that for a long time didn't get the recognition or the hope that a lot of us seek to bring to Topeka with hope, health, happiness, and prosperity. He's making it happen by those things that he has brought around in that area with the help of the residents there. We have to remember that while he's the kind of point of the spear and the leader, those residents support him in every way they can. So they really have a champion that they can look to. And so I want to thank him for what he's doing here in the city of Topeka to provide even more housing opportunities and educational opportunities there as he's put his academy there in place. So I want to mention that as a thank you for me and the city of Topeka for what he's done here. So unless there's something else that I've left off the list, we will sit for any questions that you might have.
You mentioned the congressman's here to help us out and do things for the city. What exactly did he walk away saying, hey, I'm going to get this done for you guys?
Well, that's not quite the way I put it, Eric. I made it clear to the congressman that I know when we have visitors from the federal government, oftentimes I think that they might get the feeling that when they get here, we're always asking for this or asking for that, and not taking the time to let them help us by what they observe in our community. And that was the point I made with him today, is that, yes, there are some priorities that we're working on, and his assistance in those priorities would be very helpful and appreciated. But as he looks through our priorities, is there something that leaps to his mind that says, you know, that's something I really would like to be able to put some resources behind? One of the things that I talked about was our communications with regards to mental health access here in the community. I think it's important for us to bring that as a priority. Talked with him a bit about housing in HUD and our opportunities for improvement there for some of the properties that we have had some difficulties here in the city of Topeka. The Riverfront Authority was another one that I visited with him about. So all of those things, almost every community has some kind of similar project that they would ask a congressman for assistance on. But I think it's important for us to allow our elected officials at the federal level to see where they can do the most good and say, okay, now I saw your list of 5, but these 3 I can really get on. And encouraged him, and he agreed that a regular communication about his interest in things that we're doing and our updating his office would help him be more ready to provide those resources and funding where we think it would do the most good and most impactful for the city of Topeka.
You mentioned the 23 police recruits, and I'm curious if you have a number on how many maybe vacancies we have, and also how is this going to help bring the police department back to full strength?
Yeah, so we're sitting at about 260 of 300 filled. These 23 will put us right at 283. I will tell you that we'll have more discussions on our budget, particularly on the police side on August 12th. But we did present our proposed budget for FY 2026, which also included some things like adding some civilian positions to actually free up some of our officers. And so we're looking at 3 civilian positions within our crime scene investigations unit, which would free up 3 officers to go do other things. And then also too, we're looking at civilianizing like a teaching position that we have. Again, that would free up an officer to go do other things. So it's not about just trying to hire folks. The budget also does include some funding for a staffing study to give us basically some direction on how many officers we need, not just how many, but also how they're best deployed. But again, civilianizing positions is kind of a best practice when you can do it. So as I've told council, it's not just how many do we need, it's how we are using them most efficiently. And so this is the first step in trying to civilianize some of our police officer positions, again, to free up officers to go do things like, they can be reassigned to other areas, essentially, of importance.
You know, could we maybe reinforce our community policing or bicycle units or those kinds of things?
So I don't want to take the chief's thunder, but last night he announced at an NIA meeting that he was actually able to do some restructuring to bolster up our numbers on community police officers to go from 3 to 6, and so really be able to make officers more available to the communities through our CPOs. So again, the chief, he's coming in and he's restructuring and reshuffling some things to make resources more available to try to address some of the initiatives that the community has voiced as important to them. So yeah, so we're taking direction, we're listening, and trying to move that needle forward.
Outside of the budget, why is it important to really work on civilianizing them, and what does it mean to the community, and why is that important to be active with that?
Well, it's a couple things. I think one, it gives other career opportunities for folks who maybe didn't want to be a police officer, or don't actually want to be a police officer, but still work in public safety. So it gives those career opportunities. Number one. Number two, it frees up again officers to go do other things. I don't want to speak for the chief, but the mayor mentioned something about maybe staffing a bike, like our bicycle unit back up. It gives more opportunities for visibility for our police officers to be out in the community, more opportunities for community engagement, and so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it.
Talk about Hotel Topeka. The talks with Endeavor, from what I'm understanding is, you all said that you've been talking with the county with this the whole time, yet I believe, as Kevin Cook says, not once have they come to us about this negotiation with Endeavor. We don't know about that, and so to tie in with the Maynard Conference, he doesn't know what he's going to do with that because he doesn't know what's going on over here. Can you just clarify what you guys have done communication-wise with Shawnee County?
I'll let you take the lead, and then I have something to refer to.
I'm going to just stand by my previous statements without throwing anybody under the bus, and just say that we have been in communication with the county for quite some time. As I mentioned on the Red Couch a few weeks ago, I will just say that we've given opportunities for the county to speak with some of the folks who have submitted proposals to actually tour the Maynard Center with some folks. And so I will just stand by my previous statements that we, again, while maybe the commissioners maybe didn't get to read the LOI, I will just say that I will just stand by my previous statements that we have communicated with them.
So their people have been talking with you, it's just the county commissioners themselves have not spoken to you guys. Is that what you're saying?
I'm going to just say that I personally have not spoken with any of the county commissioners, but that we have kept the county in the loop.
Well, I'll just add that through this whole process, we've been as open to communications as possible. It is always difficult when you're dealing with a structure like a commission where you can't speak to more than one commissioner at a time, and those kinds of things that do get in the way of meaningful conversations. But there's always been an effort to collaborate as much as possible within the bounds of confidential information that we can and cannot share. But where we've been able to share, we've shared it all the time. So I'm hoping that our continued efforts in that way will get us to a final successful completion of our efforts right now with the hotel.
Is there anything new that we haven't learned about the hotel now that you guys have learned since the last time you all talked about it?
No, nothing that I can bring to mind, to be honest with you, that hasn't been shared.
Yeah.
I just had something about this month. It's obviously been a relatively deadly month. We've had 5 killed, including the double homicide, and so essentially, we're wondering, what do you both see as the problem and potentially the solution, if there's any clear point in that at all?
Well, I'll speak from my law enforcement background, okay? There's no clear thing you can point to say that because this is happening in our city, these are why we're having these violent deaths. Every situation is different. If you look at each situation where someone has been killed, they're all different. They don't have a commonality on everything. So it's hard to say, well, because of this, this happened. People's lives interact and take turns and changes that we have no real control over. And that we know that from law enforcement. We learned a long time ago, we don't take credit for the reduction of homicides because we really can't take credit for that. And to say that, well, you're not doing enough to prevent them, it's difficult to say, well, what specifically would you have us do to prevent all the variables that happen in life that might bring people to these terrible circumstances? The thing that you can really just hope for is that as a community, we look out for each other. If you hear, you see activity that you know might endanger someone, that feels like you hear something down the block, you're not sure about it, call then. Don't call after you hear gunshots possibly. You know, just take care of each other, because there's no single thing that you can point to. There's so many factors: economic, mental health, situational, family relationships. All those things come into different play in different ways, so it's hard to point at what our solution is. I think it's a community solution, one that we have to work with our police officers with, be more trusting of each other back and forth between the police and the community. Let us know what's going on so that we can, where we can, take any kind of preventative action. Okay? No further questions. I appreciate your attendance and your questions. Have a great day, and our press conference is over.